Hey guys, we're back for tonight's little stream, and I've no idea what I'm going to be getting on with. The first thing actually is we are going to update our drones. I think that's a good idea to start with, don't you think, guys? So let's have a look. So we're looking at blueprints, but we're not looking at these. What we're looking at is models. Okay, we're not looking at that, we're looking in here for the drones. And what we want to do here is look in our blueprint for the drones. And what we can do is that's the scanner. Right. And there's a little issue, I don't know why it's happening, but we'll get round about it this way, right? What we'll say is activate right, and in here we won't activate it here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll block this off, we'll move this out the way, we'll plug this in, in fact let's forget that a second, shall we? What we shall actually do is we will activate it. But what we'll say is we'll say visible, we'll set the visibility to invisible, right? And then what we'll say is visible and we obviously branch this, so we branch that, and wait a minute, right, I don't think we need to do this at all. I think we just remove this. Right. And basically we can delete that, and we did put that back in. So if we save that and press play, then what we should be able to see is right, let's see our drones. And it's not, they're not doing anything. Okay. So I imagine that we need to do that. And try that again. Right. And we're still not doing it, apparently. Okay. So we'll put that back. And we'll do this. We'll put this here as well. Right. And we'll get the world location. We shall plug this in here. Then this is obviously the laser. Okay. Try that again. Try that. And let's see how it goes, shall we? And that's still not working. So what have I done? Right, this is the only part that basically I have changed. Where it suddenly doesn't work. Right. Now, I don't know why that is at the moment, but But now this is all back to the way it was. Yeah, apart from the visibility thing. And that's what the problem was. So yeah. Let's put this into here. Put this into here. Then set visibility. Is true, and plug that in there. We'll drag these down out the way a bit. Save that. Press play, and let's see how that goes for us, shall we? There we go. The question is, how long are these timelines? At the moment they're 5 seconds. Yeah, but yeah, that's 5 seconds. So all we need to do is go into our AI, go back into our drone, activate scanner, and this should be 10 seconds. And it should be like plus or minus 2 seconds. Actually, no. We want it to be 11 seconds plus or minus 1. Okay, and we need to check this face next location. So that's set to travel to target. I'm just wondering, see this? See if we made this. Right, so give me a second here. We'll check the other one, see what the default is. Ten. Right, so if we set this to 10, so there's that. We press play and check this. So now we're actually going to have to... Okay. So that's good. We go to face. And then what we're going to have to do is rotate to the landing rotation. Right? So once we drop down, right? We do this, rotate to origin. So we do that. Rotate to origin. Then we plug this in. And we set these up. Cell factor. Hey? No, that's next location. We do fly height. And we do landing rotation. Okay. And then what we do is we duplicate that and pop it in here. Except we change this to 1. We save that. And now our drones should behave themselves a lot better. So let's see how that works. And there we go. That's that. Pretty cool. So that's that little issue sorted out. Now, the next issue I wanted to sort out is when we are in a certain mode, we don't want our our menu, you see how this lights up, right? We don't want that to happen while we've got a menu open, right? So I'll let you see that, right? So see how that lights up, right? Now, if I press close on that, it closes it, right? But we don't want that to light up. Or anything for that. Well, do we want that to light up? Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Right, so the thing we need to do is find out what game mode we're in. Okay, so if we click on blueprints, we can get our controller, right, and then down the bottom here we can basically click that, right, and save that, and then press play, and now we'll get normal, right, which is fine. That's what we want. But the problem is we're still in normal when we open a menu, right? And we kind of want that, but we kind of don't, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a variable, and it's going to be menu open, okay? And then each time you click on a menu and it opens, then we can check this variable to find out if a menu is open and whether or not I should light up the other stuff and in fact click it, right? So what we'll do is we'll do a test on this, right? And we'll have to go into buildings, and it's base building, I would imagine. So this is the cursor open or not, right? And basically what we want to do is get the controller and check if our menu is actually open or not. Right? So what we can say is menu open, and we can branch into that, and we basically want to say false to this. So this is going to be not, right? So all of these will go in here, and there's that. And then what we'll do is we'll test it with the warehouse, right? So if we look at the warehouse, in fact we can do it with the base building, and we can do it on the click me, I believe. Right, because this base building should have this clicked on. Right? So basically this is the easiest place in the world to put this. All I need to do is say I need to get the controller. Get the controller. And then menu, we set this to menu open. Okay. And then if we go to the UI, and we go to the warehouse, right, and if we click on the graph, and if they close it, right, we get the controller again. We say menu open, it's false. Right, we can save that, and then in our game, under building details, we can do exactly the same thing, right? So if they close it, have we got the controller? Can't believe I've not got the controller for this. Well, okay, whatever. Right, we can just get, click on this, get player controller, cast to FE controller. In fact, we're going to put this in begin play audit, right? And then this is going to get promoted to variable. It's going to be called controller. And then what we'll do is we'll move this up, and we'll have an event construct that is in the event construct. Okay, so if that's the case, all of this is going to come down a bit. I need to tidy that crap up a bit actually. Right, and this event construct is going to come down a bit, then this is going to get plugged in there, this can get plugged in here, this can get removed, this can go in here, that can go in there, and then this can go down here, wherever it wants, that'll do. And then over here we're going to pull in our controller. Then we're going to say menu open, and we're going to set it. We're going to set it to closed. Okay. So let's try that, shall we? See how it goes. So that's fine. Then we click on it and it's not fine. So there we go. But it kind of means one more thing that we need to do is we need to go into our base building, and when they click on it, we need to basically say unhover, and that's going to switch off our effect. Okay. So we shall test that out one more time. So that's fine. Notice it unhovers it. We can't get it back. We close it and we're back. Cool. And we should be able to do this with the other buildings as well. Let's do it over here somewhere. That'll do it. So there we go. That's good. We can close that. Our miner should be coming up now. But that works well. Those should be heading home. We can click on that. It's not lighting up. That's not lighting up. Everything's not lighting up, which is great. And we can close that. Okay. Now, if we stop this, and we go to our building details, right, we've got this text block here, and this is the building type. This can actually just go. Right, and in the code there's going to be an error, but that's okay because we just don't need to set this. Okay. Got two more, so we don't set that. Can save that, and we have one more which is right here, and we don't need to set that. Okay, all good. And that's that done. So we're gradually just fixing little issues here that became rather obvious to me. And I think I've got a decent idea here. Right, here's my, right, I'll explain the issue, right? That's the best way to do it, I believe. Right, so if we build a mine, right? And then we build a refinery. and you'll see this all working nicely, right? And we spin this round. Now my issue is, if you build a conveyor, right, and basically you're like here, but you're kind of facing the wrong way, right? But you want it to just join up there, then I think you should be able to right click. Okay, now you'll notice that I've already got a right click on that, but what we'll try and do is we'll try and override. Okay, so if we go into our, it's going to be the building itself, the refinery, right? So we're going to have to go into the refinery and test this out. This is just a little idea I've had, where what we're going to do is we're going to test this out. And what my proposition is, if you then click, if you're going the wrong way and you right click, then it'll automatically just build the end of the spline, right? At the moment, it only does it if you're on the correct axis, right? It doesn't do it if you're not on the right axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the refiner, right? And then what we can do is an override on let's see, point. Apparently we don't have actor on clicked. But it's not really that. What it is these arrows. No, I'm talking crap. It's this plane. It's this plane input, right? Now, my question is, can I add an override on this? In theory, yes. Let's check it. Let's just have a play and see what we get, right? So if I do this, actor on clicked, right? And if this is I wonder if we can get his cursor over. Cursor. overlap. Well, okay. Overlapped. Apparently. No, it isn't overlapping that. It's when it overlaps. Right. What we can do here is we can check the research, the crafting list, to see how we check this, because this definitely so this is crafting. So if we get the crafting list and go to the code, we definitely have, or is it, yes, item, right? So this is on mouse button down. So we'll have to do the same thing. Now, I don't think we actually have this. This was the refiner, was it? Right, so it's not actor on clicked. It's on mouse button down. And I don't think we have it here. Nope, we don't. Playing. Now, we could do something here, I believe. Because we could say equals then we could say mouse, and then we could say right mouse button. Okay? And then that adds, yeah, that draws the spliner, right? So this would be a slightly different method. But it might just work. Right, I'm going to delete that, because I keep just moving it. And it just keeps staying in the way for some unknown reason. Right. We'll move that up. We'll grab all this and we'll move all that up. And that's going to be a knot. And then we're going to have a branch. So we'll branch off this. And then we can carry that on. Okay. And what we could do is do print string. Then we'll make that white. Okay, that. Then we shall make it 30. And we shall say complete me please. Okay. We'll save that. And then we'll test it. So we can say continue. Then we can do our probes. Hey, former rope, how you doing, mate? We're just working on, we're fixing up a few things, put it that way. Right, just little niggly issues that were in the back of my mind. So that's what's up. We've fixed a couple of things already. But we're carrying on. Right, so if I draw my conveyor belt, right, and then I right click here, okay, so we need to do this and get rid of that. We need to get rid of this. And we can try that again. Funny thing is, I think it was last week. Last week we did all the saving stuff and I keep forgetting to actually save the game. Because this would make testing obviously a lot easier. To just bring it back to what we've already got built. I do like watching the drone things go though. It's pretty cool. Right, so anyway, whichever way you want to describe it. So, the point here is, what I want to happen at first is, for this, see, didn't work because we're doing it I'll tell you what we could do, right? Instead of being the right button, we could have it being the middle button. We can't really do that, because then, well, everybody's got a mouse button and a thing. Right, okay. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our refiner, right? And we'll make it the middle button. Middle button. Middle mouse button. Okay. And now it should definitely work. Why did I not save it? You guys didn't tell me to save it. To remember to save it anyway. Right. So we're getting on here. It's a quiet Sunday night. We can turn this round. And now, I don't know why I'm waiting. Oh yeah, it was the middle button, wasn't it? Let's wait till all those X's and whatever go away. Are they going to go away? Apparently not. Right. We'll take that away again. And what we shall do is we'll see if it actually gets to here. Apparently not. So it doesn't get here. Is it to do with the middle mouse button? Oh, what I'll do is I'll do number 7, right? And we'll see where we go with this. Oh, please remember to save it for a change. This isn't going to work. This is not going to work. I don't believe. Because you've got to actually click on it. Right, so if I hit the 7 button, it ain't going to do nothing. Right, give me a second guys, I think that's my wife back. Just going to grab a cigarette. I'll be back in 2. Okay, we're back, so let's get back on with this, shall we? Right, so basically this isn't working. So we're going to have to think of something else, I'm afraid. And that, if that had worked, I would have been happy to carry on with it, but because it's not, we're going to have to think of something else, and it's probably going to be a heck of a lot more complicated, so I'm going to say bleh to that for tonight, and we shall just carry on with small fixes or whatever. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on the sound from my computer, and I've got sound for the drones, okay? Like, if we go back, we should be able to just play this. Now, I tried to play the sound there, but it didn't work. And I'm thinking I don't know what it is. Right, so I don't want to work on that because you guys won't hear what I'm doing. What I would be basically doing is chopping up the sound into like a takeoff, a normal flight, plus a landing. Right? So, let's carry on with something else, shall we? And I think what I was going to be was, I was going to do this last night. I don't know why I ended up getting sidetracked onto something else. But what I was going to do was adjust the widget on the buildings, not necessarily the miner, because the miner has actually got its stuff done. So the idea behind this would be to update now. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this for now, right? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this and I'm going to make it slightly different, right? So what I'm going to do here is grab the drone AI, right? And I'm going to duplicate it, and this is going to be actually going to be, oh, thanks for the subscription, whoever subscribed. Stephen, thank you for the subscription. That's very kind of you. Right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this from rotate to origin. We're going to change this to rotate for scan. Right? And we're going to delete that. We're going to basically bring this in. That's going to be rotate for scan. Okay. And we're going to do the status over, even though we don't need it. We're going to do next location, then we're going to do fly height, and then we're going to do landing rotation. Now the landing rotation, while it may actually be important here, but I don't think it is. We're going to open this up, right? And this rotate for landing, we're going to open that up. And we're going to give it an input, right? And we are basically going to say random, and it's going to be yes or no. Okay. And you know, actually the easier way to do this would be to actually remove this. Right, so what we'll do is we'll remove this again. And what we'll do is we'll just copy this. So we shall copy that part of it, right? Then we shall move it up a bit. Then we'll create another custom event. And this is going to be rotate for landing. I don't know why I didn't like that. Right, so rotate for landing. Is that rotate? It's rotate for scanning. Duh. Rotate for scanning. And we paste this back in. Right. And refresh that. Except we don't use this, right? So what we do is we're going to rotate on the Z, right? So we basically delete that and we make a rotator. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a temp rotator for this. So variables temp rotator, and that's going to be a rotator. Then we're going to delete that. Then we're going to plug that in there. And then we're going to set it here. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a rotator. Actually, we don't need to do that. What we can do is we can just split this pin. And the only one we're worried about is the Z, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get integer in range come on, give me an integer in range, right? And it's going to be between 0 and 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by 90, and that's going to be our Z. Okay, so that's going to add a little bit more randomness to our drones, so that they should all like face different ways. So what we need to do here is, if we go back into here, then rotate for scan, then we don't do that. What we do is rotate for scanning. Okay, then we do that, we save that. Now let's look at our we move down and then we rotate, so that's okay. And if we do our probes now, right, and that's not working how I expected. Right, so we won't do it that way. So basically we take these out, okay. Now what we do is we go into our drone. Now we've got these two timelines here, right? And basically we're moving the scanner on the left. What we really want to do is then move it on the right. So let's give this a little try. That's X value. And so that's let's have a look to see what this is doing. We're taking the X value here, right? It's actually the Y value, but yeah. So we're doing that. What I'm wondering is if we did it on the Y, if it would do the same thing. Right, so this goes into the Y and this X goes into the X. I'm wondering if I can swap these around. Right? To basically do the same thing. Like, so it's going, at the moment, the scan is going left to right, right? Left, right, left. Or right, left, right. But will it go? Yeah. That's what I want, right? That's what I want, but not quite. We do have to do rotate for landing. Well, rotate to origin. And we need to set these back up. Next location. Fly height. And landing rotation. Okay, so that should be us back to where we were. Right, but the difference is going to be that it's going up and down on the Y. So our drones should make the scans go this way, up and down. Yeah, but they aren't rotated. Right, okay. That's fine. So if we go back to our drone, we basically plug these back in. To the X. And this goes to the Y. That goes back in there, and that should be us back to where we were. Now, what I was hoping was that if we spun our drone around, then the material would follow it, but it's not. And that's because it's not material, it's a Niagara system. So what I'd have to do is calculate the beam ends again in a different way for the Y position, right? So anyway, that was pretty unsuccessful, so we shall try something else. In fact, I'm not going to try anything else. But an hour and a half in, it's been pretty quiet. If you've been watching, thank you very much for doing so. Greatly appreciated. Check out the description for my Discord, Patreon and previous Steam game. And I shall catch you all tomorrow at 2 PM Central when I'll be streaming again. Hopefully I'll have something else for us to look at. And we shall take it from there. Good night, folks.